Oh, hello there. Yes, well, the weekend. I suppose you had better get fresh for it, whatever that means. Anyway, today, perhaps as promised, we'll talk about Elon Musk. He, I think, along with a lot of other people, have invested an awful lot of spiritual energy, if I can put it that way, in terms of a Donald Trump win in November. And as that possibility seems less than likely, if I can put it as gently as that, it seems that these people are getting slightly rattled, especially in and around the notion of government action, which might well stop them as individuals from, well, doing ever what the hell they want. In discussions between Trump and Elon Musk, two men who share a great similarity in an awful lot of ways in terms of being authoritarians with no real understanding of common people and something of a contempt for certainly organised labour and certainly a great deal of contempt for anybody that they think of as inferior to them, be it males, females or otherwise. Yes, especially if they're the wrong colour, because both of them come from a basically broadly apartheid background. So Trump has said that he's going to appoint Elon Musk, thanks for all the money, Elon, thanks for all the propaganda on X, Elon, as somebody to walk back government regulations. Now, whenever I hear the phrase walking back government regulations, I don't tend to think, like, shall we say, salivating conservatives do, that, oh good, it'll unleash the entrepreneurial spirit. I just think to myself, it'll unleash a great deal of poverty, because if we look back at the modern history of neoliberalism, starting, let's say, in Chile, why not, eh? Yes, indeed. Not so much parking tanks on your lawn as parking tanks on your lawn and then shooting you. Yes, we can discover that those ideas don't really work. Sorry. I mean, the fundamental system is that if you stridently believe that capitalism will basically look after itself when it patently can't, then you're bound to come a cropper, which leads to all sorts of problems. Chile is still suffering. You can think to Margaret Thatcher, can't you? Yes, do you remember we didn't need industry? Yes, how hollow that particular one sounds. Still, never mind, an entire lifetime of people blighted by that particular one. Yeah, why don't you go anywhere north, eh? And have a look round. Meanwhile, of course, those people that caused all that pain and suffering are still earnestly true believers. Here's Elon Musk yet again, praising Milei, him, the Argentinian guy, as being some sort of Thatcherite superhero. Of course, though, the problem is that, inflation is coming down in in Argentina. But the problem is, it's done on the backs of the poor, like everything else, like in this country. Oh, inflation's a bit high. Oh, well, just slap on huge interest rates. Never mind, the people can pay for that. The people can pay. It's always been the way. And, just a sort of cursory glance at all the other economic indicators of Argentina do actually put it in terms of the region as a basket case. Yes, even compared to Venezuela. So what do we end up with here? Well, we end up with a notion that groups of people who are big and special have the right to dictate to the rest of us. The problem is that when they're not very pleasant individuals, it gets to be very iffy. If you think that Elon Musk is an okay person and you agree with him, I'd say, okay, that's fine. But would you think it would be fine if George Soros, for example, were to explicitly come out on behalf of Kamala Harris and, do some fake AI stuff of Donald Trump dressed up as Adolf Hitler? Would that be acceptable? Would it be acceptable if, having taken all of that money, that Ms. President Harris would give him a job to allow more immigrants across the border, or whatever particular political fantasy you want? No, it wouldn't, of course. There is an inherent problem with handing somebody, especially somebody as flawed as Elon Musk, and he's a deeply flawed individual, autism notwithstanding, so much power, it's a recipe for disaster. Yeah, you know, oh, it's great, Starlink, everyone's got internet. Yeah, so long as he decides who's going to have it. Oh yeah, it's great because he's allowed all those people onto Twitter. Yeah, so long as he's deciding, eh? But when you're on the receiving end of it, magically it's something else entirely. Now, we have a major problem with the billionaire class because these people have no understanding of exactly what it is that the rest of us do. And if Elon and Argentinian presidents, and if you think about the history of Argentina and when their economy collapses, often the army steps in. And if you want to lie awake at night sweating, staring at the ceiling, I can recommend you look at the crimes of the last Argentinian dictatorship, because Galtieri made Hitler look like a bit of an amateur in an awful lot of ways. But if you want to persuade me about the entrepreneurial spirit of these people, I would suggest giving at least 2 or 3 billionaires a shovel and putting them in a field, and we'll come back in a week's time and see how they're getting on in terms of wealth production. Except, of course, there may or may not be only one of them alive, because the first thing they'll do is kill each other for food, because they're incapable. If you were to do the same thing with a group of 5 ordinary working class people, be it agricultural or industrial workers, then after a week they'd still all be alive. I wonder why that is. Well, because a group of them do have the ability to make things, produce wealth, and the others are basically vultures. Anyway, that was a bit of a rant, wasn't it? Do have a lovely Saturday. Enjoy the last of the summer sunshine. Oh yeah.